Good morning. Good morning, people. Many Face Publishing, man. How's everybody doing today? You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful day out. Got up, man, took my daughter to school. And dropped my son off. Babysitter. Came back home, a cup of coffee. All prayers and praise are due to God, Allah. He's our lone creator, no partners. And, we want to glorify him, man. Be happy to be alive, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be happy to be alive, man. We have air to breathe, water, which ain't nothing free in this motherfucking world. The crazy shit is you gotta be paid for services, but at a high cost. But yeah, we have air that's still free at least. We have roofs over our head, most of us. We have food in our house. Be grateful for the things that you have. A lot of people are dysfunctional and delusional. You can see it in their actions. Sometimes people portray like everything is good, life is great. But in all actuality, inside, they're crumbling, man. You know what I'm saying? They can't cope inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, they deal with we human. You know what I'm saying? So, we're gonna deal with some hardships, man.
Try them for yourself with a free art support fitting at the Good Feet store.
But our hardships can't break us. And I ain't just sitting here talking behind the screen, right? I'm going through hardships now, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm having trouble paying bills. It's rough out here. You know what I'm saying? I got, a wife, kids, and it's not easy out here, man. I can't even do, nothing special for people like that no more. We moved into a better neighborhood to get away from a lot of the BS in the neighborhood we used to live at. Mice infested apartment, rats in the basement, you know what I'm saying, like, gunfire, you know what I'm saying, like, so, I don't really want my kids raised in that type of environment, you know what I'm saying, like, but they can't even go to the fucking park, can't even walk to the store, you know what I'm saying, like, without, fear of being shot. Buy your own people, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was watching the news this morning. My mind was racing in different places. I got a bunch of things I'm probably going to talk about today. But one of the things I saw was this new boxing program that they had on it, Pix 11, that they were talking about in the Bronx. And we need programs like that. We also need programs, and it's free. And we also need programs that can enhance these kids' skill sets. Maybe offer some free technical schools or build a technical school out here. Like you got all these charter schools. Maybe some of these buildings that are putting these charter schools in there can build a school that, you can help these kids enhance some type of skill sets they got, like technology, computer classes. Give some free courses, man, for these kids, man, because we got to get them off the streets. Hopefully maybe some mosques, churches and stuff open up, create some activities or something for these kids after school, during summertime. Like, we have to save this. We're not gonna have a generation in another 10 years. And these are the kids, right, that are growing up, that are gonna run the world in 10, 20 years. It's gonna be their turn. And then the older kids that are, in their 20s, they're part of this too. Like, a lot of them are ruining their lives as well too. And it's like, who's gonna be out here representing us if everybody's in jail or dead? You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's nobody to represent us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we gotta Sorry, I didn't comb my beard, man.
I hear the collective screams
You know what I'm
of
saying? I
girls.
see my shit looking wild, B. But, you know, we're not going to have a youth, man. We're not going to have a future if we don't get these kids right, man. Like, 'cause these are kids out here doing this shit, man. 15, 14, 18, 19, 20. Like, they got to get a grip, man. And one of the guys said something interesting. One of the cops, he was like, you know, on the show, he said, yeah, you know, they use a lot of young kids. A lot of the older guys use these young kids, you know, to go do their dirty work. And it's like, you know, he's not lying, you know. But then again, there's a lot of young kids out here that are doing this shit on their own. Going on robbing sprees, all this stupid shit, man, that we going through out here. You know, Allerton Ave, 5 people shot one day, kids crash into somebody's house, trying to get away from police, and all y'all going to jail now. Like, and y'all gonna go to jail for a long time. Why throw your life away for stupid shit? And go back to, like, when I was thinking about these errors, man, and it's like, I always say I blame, our generation, but, this shit trickles down generation to generation to set up to get to the times that we at now. Just like the coming of the Dajjal. You don't just pop up out of nowhere, man. People think this is some mythical. You gotta use your brain, man. These things happen over time. So things set these things up. Events set these things up. Generations set these things up. You know what I'm saying? Like, idol worshiping didn't just pop up out of nowhere and just start up. That started after generation after generation. I'll give you an example. Sorry. So, for instance, right? Say Michael Jordan passes away, right? And, everybody, they built a statue up there, Chicago. Everybody's coming to pay tribute to the statue. Rest in peace, Mike. Michael Jordan this, Michael Jordan that. Everybody's going to this site, the greatest player of all time, all this stuff, right? Putting all that stuff by his statue. Now, Shaitan, the devil, will whisper in your ear. The evil doer will come whisper in your ear, hey, you know what? Instead of freezing outside, right? Going out there in the burning up sun, you love Michael Jordan a lot, why don't you create the Michael Jordan mini statue, right? That way you can put it in your house and, you don't have to go outside. Now you can just pay a tribute. You can wake up every day and look at Jordan and see a statue, and, you can pay a tribute like that, man, instead of going out there and freezing. Now, that sounds like a great idea, right? You got to go outside, just buy, we just want to make a mini one, put them in the house. So now, this idea comes up and everybody starts putting them in their house, right? But say I put this in my house, play the lotto, hit the lotto. Now, simple-minded person will look, damn, once I put the statue in, I done hit the lotto. I met this nice-looking woman over here. I'm thinking of marrying her. My life is going good ever since I put the statue in my house, man. I got this new job right before I hit the lotto. Like, now I'm worth some money. Hey, you know what? Don't touch the statue. Mike's bringing me good luck, right? It's luck, something that Muslims shouldn't be following. But here we go. So now, right, that's how it starts. This is bringing me good luck, right? So now I start telling people about it, and I tell, I have kids, and touch that statue. That statue stays there. Ever since we explained to the kids, since I had this statue, everything's going right in my life. My bank account's better. I have this new business that I built. you know, life is good for us, man. Don't touch that statue. He dies. That your son has that same mindset, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he's explaining to his kid, hey, man, you know, Dad really loved the statue. The guy was, I guess the guy was a basketball player. He was one of the greatest players of all time. So now he's explaining it, but he's not explaining it as enthused as, excuse me, excuse me, he's not as enthused as the dad was when he's telling the story, but he's still like, yo, don't touch that statue. That statue's sacred. It's sacred to Dad, you know, so it's sacred to me. You know how much I feel about my dad. He took me to all the Chicago games, and, you know, everybody always paid tribute to Jordan there, so, you know, we know Jordan is a big figure. So now that trickles down, and the son walks by that statue, sees that statue, that little mini statue, and they're still thinking that it brings luck. You know, now another generation goes by, he tells, you know, explains the story, not as enthused as the son. So now the story's losing its luster, but they're still saying don't touch the statue. All the way down to the point where the statue is just there, and then, you know, in everybody's house now, a couple of people done got lucky since they got that statue, and they're telling that same story. And the next thing we know, you know, everybody's buying a statue, and nobody knows why. Now, all they're looking at is the luck the statue brings. You forgot all about Michael Jordan and who he was. You know, and his legacy starts to fade. And then people start to, you know, make up things about his legacy. You know, but, you know, you're no longer paying tribute to him for that statue. You're paying tribute to the luck that the statue is bringing. You know, it's just an example of idol worshiping, man. You know, in all actuality, whatever happens to you is happening to you for a reason, not because of your luck or anything like that. You know, just the way the world works. You know, God says he decrees certain things. Some people are favored more than others, and things like that. You know, and you know, whatever happens, you know, preordained that things are going to happen for you based on the decisions that you make, positions you put yourself in. So, that being said, you know, it's that's the way of an example of how people can start to worship idols and things like that. You know, and you know, I know a lot of people, they don't like Islam for whatever reason. You know, a lot of people are misinformed about Islam and have a lot of false interpretations of Islam. Like, I'll give you an example. Oh, Muslims oppress the women. These are the common things like to say. They're oppressing the women. That doesn't oppress the women, man. They make the women walk out. Those are cultural things. You ain't never in the Quran here, Allah tell us that we're better than women and stuff like that. Or we treat our women a certain way. No. You don't see that. Everybody has equal rights. The women have rights. There's a whole surah for the women. Few surahs that deal with women and things like that. So, at the end of the day, right, you know, everybody has rights. You know, the only reason men may have a little bit more rights is because we all are considered the protectors of the women. So, you know, just like police all have more rights than civilians, right? Police, you know, we have to obey the authority, right? Or obey the cops because of their position, right? Same way how a man will have a little bit more rights than his woman because he is the one that's going to be out there on the forefront. 9 out of 10. Oh, that's sergeant. Oh, that's just it's the way of life, society, man. You're a father. You're going to sit there and let your daughter take the bullet, or your wife take the bullet, or you going to take the bullet. Like, come on, be for real, man. as a man, do you feel like a man when your wife is paying all the bills in the house and she's working and you sitting around the house just chilling and taking the kids to school? No, you're not gonna feel right as a man, B. You're not. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with a woman helping out and paying bills. You know, I feel like, you know, some of the stuff, you know, yeah, it could be modified into like understanding like, yo, look, those are the different times where men, you know, and it just dominated the household. Yeah, you know, this is a new era, new age, right? More opportunities out here. And, you know, higher cost of living. So, yeah, you're going to need some help. Some of us men, you know what I'm saying? We might need some help, man, from our ladies, man. That's what they're here for, to support us and help us. You know what I'm saying? We're here to provide and protect. You know what I'm saying? And they're supposed to be our support crutch. And sometimes, you know, things don't go right. You might need them to step up. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Good things are in store at Stop and Shop. But there's no, I'm better than you and you're not. Walk behind me or we force the women to wear it. No, that, so you know what I'm saying? Like, you want, you know what I'm saying? Like, your woman to just unclothe herself, right? And then you're going to get mad. Women and men, they get mad when niggas look at them. Oh, why you looking at me like that? Or they get all funny when you look at them. Why do you have that on you? Why would you come out half naked if you don't want niggas looking at you? Make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? And this girl telling me, yo, why guys always gotta comment and look at me? Sure, you fucking beautiful, like. And I'd explain to her, like, this was years ago. You know what I'm saying? I used to work in the gym, and the girl sat down next to me, and she's like, yeah, you know, guys always trying to talk to me, and they always looking at me, but look what you got on. And you're beautiful. You're showing all your beauty and your attributes. You know what I'm saying? So you're giving a man the show without even knowing it. So of course he's gonna like what he sees and he's gonna try you. What do you expect him to be, Stevie Wonder? And go like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And even, you know what I'm saying, to a lot of us brothers, man, and people, you gotta have a balance out here, man. Like some brothers, you know, I understand you want to have taqwa and fear Allah. You want to move with taqwa, but you also, Allah says, you know, yeah, we're going to sin and to live with balance. Do not be excessive in your religion. Do not, you know, innovate in religion either, and don't be excessive. And sometimes, you know, we can mix culture with, you know, religion. And a lot of times when they see these things like that, that's what it's referring to. A lot of that stuff is cultural shit. Walk behind me. Don't point your feet this way and that way. Like, fam, where is this at in the Quran and Sunnah? You know what I'm saying? Like the Prophet told people this stuff, man. Don't do this, don't do that. I ain't no scholar and I ain't no sheikh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, you know, a regular Muslim, man. But I make mistakes, man. We all make mistakes.
Well, I almost said happy Monday.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all make mistakes. We're here to make mistakes. It's what you do after the mistakes, the type of mistakes you're making, and being conscious and aware of what you're doing. So it's you know what I'm saying? And are your mistakes visible? Are your mistakes a reflection of, you know, a Muslim community or a Christian community, whatever community you represent, right? You know what I'm saying? Like when you step out the house, are you representing your people, you know, to the fullest, man? Where's your balance, man? But you can't have balance without understanding. So the Quran also, you know, Allah says, this is a book for men of understanding. Gotta have understanding in order to have balance, man. You know what I'm saying, man, you can't be too extreme and you can't be loose. You know, you got some people out here, right, that they feel like, well, I ain't gonna be Muslim because I want to live and do what I want to do. So, you know, now the 40 hadith, the Prophet says, you have no shame, do as you please. right?
Yeah.
So,
They were joined by
you
millions
know,
of their friends.
some people want to do as they please. They feel like, hey, you know, you know, some people will join Islam, right? All for the wrong reasons, you know, not for finding themselves and trying to build a spiritual connection to God, right? They become Muslim for men
This is a big deal for the community.
or just for show.
You know, I spoke to.
And then, you know, next thing you know, they undoing the Shahada. And you're going to see a lot of people lives spiral out of control.
Folks who work here, Garrett, Nicole Johnson,
You know?
Corey Chambers,
And,
everybody.
you know, because you don't play with Allah like that, man.
Oh, yeah.
You don't play with them like that.
Hard work. That goes
You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
left my roller skates.
yeah, you're going to spiral out of control, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you see it, man. People think that, you know, like I said, people portray this image like life is good. And a lot of times they crumble underneath it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, it looks good on the outside, but on the inside, you got a lot of rappers, a lot of actors and actresses. Yeah, it look good. In this movie, they play a couple of roles. You thinking they up. You thinking they got some connections that they might know some people, whatever, but they ain't living. Everybody's not living the way you think they are, man. Some of these niggas is living check to check just like us, man. Some of these niggas is working regular jobs when they're not acting, or the roles are not paying them enough. Like, when you start looking at the money they get for the role, they might only get maybe 10,000, 5,000, 50,000. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're some type of A-list or B-list celebrity, you know, you gotta be up there. You know what I'm saying? For you to get big time money, or rappers that you see, you know, or been in the game or whatever, you think them niggas is up. Them niggas don't be up like that. Them niggas be barely holding it together too, man. They gotta do all these shows and they gotta make music, you know, in order to do these shows, and you know, they're not getting the push they might have used to get or whatever. They may all not be living the way, you know, you think they are, man. You know? So, you know, life can always be good. Instagram people, all these people posting all these pictures and videos and, oh, I'm doing this, all right? And then, you know what I'm saying, you gotta meet them people in person. Them niggas don't be living like that, man. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just trying to speak reality. Everybody, it's not all peaches and cream for everybody. Maybe some people, but not for everybody, man. So a lot of us got regular jobs and you know, living, you know what I'm saying, pretty much check to check, especially if you live in a city like New York that's expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, it's rough out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you gotta come out here and deal with a lot of miserable people. Tell you, man, this shit, to deal with all that, and then, you know, with your own problems, right? And then having to deal with other people's issues. Come out here and deal with these miserable motherfuckers out here and dysfunctional people. And I tried to show my daughter this morning, you know, don't let nobody influence you into doing dumb shit, man. Like, I told her about smoking and drinking. Don't let nobody gas you to do it. Oh, just try it one time. Man, it's just one puff. Nah, don't do it. That's how it starts, man. One turns into 1,000. One turns one of these drug addicts out here walking around, man. Don't do it. Because you never know. Once you take that first step, you never know what's going to happen from there, man. Don't do it. You know when you're in your right state, hey, I know what I'm doing out here. I know I'm not hooked on no drugs. My life's not going to spiral out of control to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you let people influence you, look, it's 55, just talk about this shit. It's 55,000 a livable wage in New York City. I want to hear what she got to say. But, you know, don't let nobody influence people. Don't let people influence you into making irrational decisions on your life, man. And that's what happens with a lot of these young kids. They get with these kids and they get put in situations of pressure to just try to be amongst the rest of them, and then they do dumb shit. Now your life is thrown away. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I talk about my generation and I blame us, Like I said, I blame us for not being there because we didn't listen. And it took us away. We were out here abusing the girls, smashing all these girls, doing what we want with the girls, mistreating them. Niggas is going to jail, niggas is hustling to get money, baby mothers everywhere, different states and all this shit, different cities. And a lot of these women were single raising these kids, man. So now these kids grew up, and now, you know what I'm saying, they're raising their kids with the same mindset that their parents had or their mom had. And you see how it starts to trickle down? That's why I said it starts with generation after generation. It will trickle down, man. And you know, you get a lot of these kids who weren't raised with fathers emotionally, they think emotionally, they weren't raised on a blacktop like we was, right? This is a different era. When you lived in a building, everybody knew each other in the building. These buildings now, you barely know who the fuck your neighbor is across the hall because nobody interacts anymore. You know what I'm saying? These kids now, they just get up, they got a phone, they don't know what life is without a phone. And I be having to explain to my kids, like, yo, we didn't have all this shit. We had to yell out the window for niggas. You had to look outside to see who was outside before niggas really went outside. You know what I'm saying? Niggas wasn't going outside just to stand around and do nothing if no one's outside. Like, niggas don't come outside when we saw niggas out there. Be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but everything was communicated, word of mouth, you know, not this phone shit. So we been used to going outside, playing, all the pressure from being outside playing, that we couldn't cry when we was kids, all that, going home to mommy telling the teacher, nah, you had to fight. Niggas used to make you fight every day in school, man. Fam, fight that nigga, punch that nigga in his mouth. He said this to you, you better beat that nigga up or don't come outside, man. That's how we was raised. We learned how to fight outside. These kids learn how to fight inside gyms, which is nothing wrong with that, because you actually learn them. But when we were growing up, we got put in the gym once they seen us outside fighting. They see you nice outside, you knock a couple niggas out, and they'll bring him to the gym, put him in. Look at Mike Tyson. Perfect example, man. Robbing niggas, knocking niggas the fuck out and all that. What they did, channel that energy into boxing. You're gonna teach him technique and a style that's damn near unbeatable, man. And you're gonna be world champion. He became a heavyweight champion. But, you know what I'm saying, like I said, they saw the energy channel negative and they took it and channeled it positive. So, but the point I'm trying to make is we grew up outside, you know, facing all of these traumas at young ages, seeing the things we saw, and we were able to deal with the stresses and things like that of life growing up. So that's why a lot of us still have thick skin. But a lot of these young kids, they can't take a joke. You can't say that. They're so emotional. They so brittle that they break every time you add pressure to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't raised on a blacktop. They weren't raised thick skin. Not saying all the kids are like that. I'm just saying the vast majority of these kids, and even some of these adults, like I call that shit slipping through the cracks. These slip through the cracks niggas, man, that got away and didn't really go through the matrix like a lot of us went through. You know what I'm saying? But they might have lived through them times and through those ages. You know, I'm not saying all of them are soft or whatever. I'm just saying a lot of people slip through the cracks too. You know, but what I'm trying to say is these kids, they're not thick-skinned, man. You quick to go get a gun, and we had to prove ourselves out fighting, and then niggas knew how to hit tough. Even if you couldn't win a fight, if you just fought, niggas would respect you. Like, yo, all right, son can't fight, but son will scrap with you. So niggas will leave you alone, B, just because they know you gonna scrap. You know what I'm saying? Even though niggas might know he'll wash you, but still, they're like, all right, son gonna fight though. At least he gonna fight back. You know what I'm saying? Now, these kids, they going straight to get the gun. There ain't no fighting. They might have a handful on that scrap. I see these kids going to get the gun, man. And a lot of these kids don't even know how to fight. You see them throwing their hands, like how you throwing your hands, man? So they gotta go to a boxing class or MMA to learn how to fight. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy out here, man. This is the society we live in. Like I said, this is our generation's fault for not being here for these little young dudes and these young girls and raising them right, man. And now they're raising their kids mainly the way they were raised. You know, showering them with gifts, spoiling them, and you know, saying like telling them nobody can't touch you, nobody can't do this, do that, and you know, keeping them out of harm's way. And then when they get outside and they get around these kids, they don't know how to deal with none of the pressure. We was dealing with these little pressures at 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, going up. We went outside at young ages, man, playing. And grew up together the same type of way, man. So we grew up, most of us grew up together, and we started young, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we made bad decisions, but the moral of the story is our skin was thick, man. You know what I'm saying? And these kids, they're not thick-skinned, man. They crack too easy, man. From everything, from sports, these niggas is sensitive, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't say that they want to, you know, because there's social media now, so they feel like, you know, you got some of these niggas that feel like the fans owe them something. Nigga, you are out here performing for the fans. The fans are paying to see you perform. That's how you're making your money. If there's no fans, you make no money. There's no audience. There's no money. How do you figure we owe you something? Or we can't speak about the sport because we don't play? We're fucking fans, man. Like, we're gonna speak about the sport. Yeah, like if I'm saying I'm better than you, that's something totally different. Then I can see you challenging me or saying, nigga, you don't play. Or I'm saying what you can't do or can do, or what you should have did or shouldn't have did, and you know what I mean? Like all of that stuff. And I'm talking like I can do it, then that's a totally different ballgame. Now you can say, all right, well, one, you see you get out here and do it. But just because you get critiqued, or somebody say I might not like him over this guy, these dudes get in their bag, man. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? This shit is ridiculous, man. Anyway, man, let me call my wife. She called me a couple times. You know, I'll get back at you guys, man. 32 minutes of ranting, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, if I say anything wrong, that's on me. You know, anything good comes from this, comes from, you know, the higher power, God, Allah. You know, people out here stay blessed, stay positive, man. Don't move dysfunctional, man. Use your brain, think. Be men and women of understanding, man. All right, I'm out, man. Manyface Publishing. Peace.